Good morning, Intenders.
Good morning.
Welcome back to another day of Morning Intentions. Today is Wednesday, October 22nd. Thank you for being here. Annette, thank you for joining me this morning. This week, it's all about the never enough cycle. And I started yesterday giving us a few tools to keep in our toolboxes so we can check in. Am I falling into the trap of the never enough cycle? I'll recap and then I'll continue. The first tool we can use to check in to if we're in the never enough cycle is, are we moving the finish line? Are we moving the goalposts? Can we say, I'll be happy when, and then you fill in the blank of when, and then when we get there, there's something inside of us that says, okay, no, I'm not happy, so I'll look for the next thing. I'll be happy when, and then you're looking for that next goal, that next accomplishment. If you keep on doing that, you are in the never enough cycle. The second way from yesterday, are we using comparison as fuel, as our motivation? Are we trying to keep up with the Joneses? Are we trying to keep up with what we see on Instagram or TikTok and say, well, if I had what they had, then I would be happy? And then we hustle and we grind and we keep going, trying to achieve this picture that's in our minds of what happiness should look like, but it's not coming from inside of us. We saw it somewhere out in the world, compared their life to ours and said, well, I'm not like them. I don't have all the stuff they have. I don't have the life they have. I don't have the relationship they have. Well, that must mean I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy, so I got to keep on hustling. The third way to check in of whether we're in that never enough cycle was our reflection question from yesterday. Do I feel good because I am proud of my effort? Or do I feel good because someone else noticed it and gave me good feedback? When we can recognize, I keep chasing that external validation. I'm always looking for someone else to say good things about me so I can feel good about me, and they're the ones who give me permission to feel good about me. Well, then I'm in the never enough cycle. We want to start shifting to just recognizing that we're good enough. When we can step back, cross our arms and say, job well done, kid, then we can know, no, we're not in that never enough cycle. I've got two more for us, and here they are. The first one is, does our self-criticism masquerade as motivation? We can have that thing inside of us that says, I got to keep going, or I'm lazy. I got to keep doing, otherwise I'm stupid. I'm not enough. And we can put ourselves down and be really hard on ourselves, and then that can become the fuel to our fire. But it's coming from the wrong place. It's not coming from, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to accomplish. There's something inside of us that we're actually running away from a put down, or running away from the harshness that's towards ourselves and within our hearts. We're not going after a goal that we say that's a worthwhile goal. Because when it comes to motivation, real motivation doesn't come from fear or self-attack. Real motivation comes from clarity. It comes from care. It comes from going within and giving life our best, and knowing that our best is going to be different on different days. Sometimes we'll need to rest. Sometimes we can work harder. Some years we need to rest. Some years we can work harder. That go, and if I don't go, I'm not good enough, that's just a way we beat up on ourselves. It's not really motivation. And in fact, research shows that if we have a self-compassionate inner dialogue, we'll do better, and it's more sustainable than when we're harsh and when we attack ourselves. It's no different than positive reinforcement versus negative reinforcement. Negative reinforcement can get more immediate results, but it doesn't have long-term success. You might get someone to do exactly what you want by yelling and screaming, and then they're scared of you, and then you say, well, that worked because I got what I wanted. But they're not doing it because they actually care about you and love you and want to keep it up and want to do it. They're doing it because they're scared. And there's going to be a time where people say, I'm not doing that anymore. But when you have positive reinforcement and people are celebrated for what they're doing and they're encouraged and they're uplifted, they're going to want to do more of it. It's no different than if you're a boss or a manager. Yeah, you can get your employees to do what you want them to do by yelling and screaming. But if you say, wow, great job, and you're there to celebrate them and encourage them, and if they stumble or are not sure what to do, they're not scared to tell you. They say, hey, I'm needing help. I don't understand. And you jump in and say, no problem. Thanks so much for sharing. I want to make sure that you love working here. So I want to help you. I want to make sure that you feel success each and every day. Positive reinforcement is much more successful over the long term. And if it's true for how we interact with other people, it's also true for how we interact with ourselves. And the last one I wanted to share goes back to the core of the never enough cycle. If we can look at our accomplishments, if we can reflect on our achievements, and we're not fulfilled by them, that's how we know we think we're never enough. And we just have to keep pushing harder, grinding more, and maybe one day we'll feel enough, we'll be fulfilled. It doesn't happen like that. That's because this never enough cycle is about proving. We're trying to prove that we're enough. It's not about being enough. It's not about having value just because you exist. It's this belief and runs on this belief that we have to keep proving our worth over and over and over each and every day. The trap of that is we can't do enough to prove it if we don't believe it in the first place. If we think our worth and our value come from what we do, you won't get to this point where you just think you're enough, or you know that you're enough more accurately. If your value and your worth come by doing, you just can't do enough. So we want to turn that on its head and start with, I know I'm enough. I know I have value. So then what do I want to do with that value?
Ada, I really appreciate you sharing all those ways that we can identify whether we're in that never enough cycle.
How many of those come up in your life?
Let me see. Let's go back.
I'll say mine first so you
Okay.
can feel more comfortable.
Okay.
All 5.
Well, let me go through them one at a time real quickly. I continually, always, every day move the finish line. So that's one. I'm not a real comparison person. So I don't think that one is one that is present in my life.
I don't think you've ever been a comparison person.
No, I'm not a comparison person. The external validation I relate to only as it relates to the people that I care about.
So if your VIPs give you that external validation, that's meaningful. But if some person who you're not close to, or maybe you don't even know, just a stranger says something, you can easily brush that off and keep moving forward.
Right. I don't need validation from somebody that I don't have a close relationship with. So if somebody says, oh, that's a nice job, and I'm not close with them, I might say, oh, well, thank you, and I might appreciate it, but I don't need that external validation. In fact, how my mind works is, well, you don't really know me. You have no idea whether it's good or not. Like, I don't have trust in that. I guess I would say it that way.
That's another perspective on that.
Okay, so then the self-criticism. I don't have negative self-talk that's blatant, but I will challenge myself.
How so?
So if let's say I'm writing something, I will challenge myself. I'll read it and then I'll say to myself, is that the best I can do? I will challenge myself. So self-criticism that's masquerading as motivation. I'm not really hard on myself, but I will keep challenging myself.
Do you say things like, you could do better than that?
No, I don't. I say it more like,
With curiosity?
Yeah, more like with curiosity. Could I say it in a more hearable way? Or could I say it more clearly? Yeah, I'm not hard on myself.
You don't have that self-critical inner dialogue at
No,
all?
and I don't have an edge.
Yeah, that sounds like you.
And then your last one, achievement without fulfillment. Not really on that one either. Mine, I think really going through this has really been helpful. Mine more is, well, I guess if I'm moving the goalposts, then I wouldn't have fulfillment with my achievement. So maybe
I think
the first and the fifth ones.
That's what I was going to say. That would be someone who has known you for 3+ decades. Those are the two that stand out for me. For you, because you're not a self-critical person, you don't seek external validation. You just like to look back and say, did I do enough?
Yes, it's more my relationship with me.
Right. But I do see you when you can't check things off your to-do list, no matter what you did, it's not enough. But then I've also seen it where even when you can check things off the to-do list, you're always looking at, well, how much you could not check off.
Yes, and maybe we'll end with this for today. One thing that I do, so if I can't check it off my to-do list and I've moved the goalpost, let's say, that would rob me of that fulfillment that I have in my achievement. But I don't say I'm bad. What I do say is, tomorrow I'm going to get up 2 hours earlier. I go into problem solving without recognizing how I'm feeling about the situation. I could be feeling tired, but I'll still say I should get up 2 hours earlier. So I push myself.
And that's the never enough cycle.
That's the never enough cycle once again.
So our intention for today is a reflection question. Now that you've heard 5 tools that you can use to build awareness of whether or not you're in a never enough cycle, which ones speak to your heart? Do you move the goalposts? Do you compare yourself to others? Are you looking for external validation? Do you self-criticize as a way of motivating yourself? And do your achievements not fulfill you? Check in, build awareness, because then you can say, the moment I start doing this, the moment I start looking for external validation, I can stop, I can shift, I can make a change so I don't have to hustle for my worth any longer.
And we're going to talk about that next week.
That's right. So stay tuned. Thank you so much for joining us today. Our day is better because you are part of our day. See you tomorrow.
See you then.